This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6 in HD.
A road riddled with potholes causes problems for drivers, but determining who's responsible for fixing it has become quite the bumpy road itself. Thanks for watching the news at 6. I'm David Carroll.
And I'm Cindy Sexton. A Hixson woman could be on her own to fix her car after hitting a pothole.
And we tried to track down the owner of the road today to ask about repairs to her car, but we found out that that particular stretch of roadway, Northpoint Boulevard in Hixson, actually has two owners. The City of Chattanooga, as you see highlighted in pink on the left and right of your screen, and also a private owner there in the middle, highlighted in yellow. So who's responsible for fixing the woman's car? Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Dan Kennedy says it's a puzzle that dates back some 30 years. More in tonight's On Your Side report.
Hixson's Northpoint Boulevard can be a bumpy ride.
We thought we straddled it and didn't, and boom, there was a pothole.
Bumpy and dangerous. Just ask Mary Shiver, who nailed this deep pothole outside Suntrust this weekend.
It's about the size of the wheel. That big.
It was big enough to do some big damage to the car she was driving. That's a customized wheel and could cost hundreds of dollars to repair. If the City of Chattanooga owned that section of the road, it might pay for the damage. But in this case, it's a bit more complex.
Nobody seems to really know exactly who owns that section of the road.
The City of Chattanooga owns two sections of Northpoint Boulevard. You see it in pink. But someone else owns that section in yellow. It includes the road outside Suntrust where Shiver damaged her wheel. She called 311 and the city fixed that pothole, even though it's not on their portion of the road.
That property has changed hands so many times and been subdivided so many times. It's going to take a little while to run all this down.
Lee Norris with Public Works says it's possible multiple private parties own that stretch of road, but even his office hasn't been able to track down the exact owner.
We've attempted several times in the past to acquire some of that road, and we have not been successful.
We wanted to see if we could figure it out, so we got these land surveys from the county. It shows since the 80s, Suntrust has owned part of this privately owned road. They bought it from LBC Associates. The deed says it's up to LBC to upkeep that road and keep it in good condition, something that doesn't appear to have been happening.
We're going to launch a full court press to try and determine ownership of it and get some resolution to final ownership of that section of the road.
Norris says the city wants to own all of Northpoint Boulevard, a road he says was never built to city standards, which might explain all these potholes.
They're all over the place, you're right.
Someone at the city told Shiver they get calls almost every day about that road.
Tons of complaints about this road all the time.
And while this one big pothole has been fixed, Shiver's hit a new bump in the road, tracking down whoever is liable for this damage to her car. In Chattanooga, Dan Kennedy, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Now, Lee Norris says to call 311 to report a pothole. And by the way, if something like this happens in the city and it turns out the city knew about the pothole previously, the city could be liable to pay for those repairs.